darkness, my old friend.
No matter what we suffered, we are still alive.
I've come to talk with you again.
It's gonna be okay.
How's it gonna be okay?
Because a vision softly.
Please come home. Please come home.
She's not coming back. None of them are.
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Alonso, Duralde, Ben Mankiewicz, our discussion of episode 1 of The Leftovers. I am literally just back from the dentist. There's going to be some slurring and some unfocused thoughts.
Possibly drooling even.
Right side of my face couldn't be number. Yeah.
I won't. So this is based on a novel, actually, by Tom Perrotta, who wrote Election and Little Children, and it's basically the idea of an unexplained crisis and how the people who survived would deal with it. In this case, one October 14th, 2% of the Earth's population suddenly vanished. We don't know why, we don't know how. We cut to 3 years later, we still don't know why, we still don't know how, but we're seeing the lingering effects on this sort of secular rapture, or maybe it's not secular, we don't know.
Maybe it's not a rapture.
Maybe it's not a rapture, right. We don't know, nobody knows anything, but the survivors are trying to make some sense of it, and so some people are turning to cults, and some people are sort of becoming nihilist, and dogs are going crazy, and maybe so is humanity.
I liked it that the dogs who were going crazy were led to believe are the actual dogs who witnessed it. Mm-hmm. So if your master was out shopping and you were home, you'd still be a sane dog.
Right.
But if you were with your master when he actually vanished. A lot of people were turning to cults because we really saw two different cults.
Right.
One that hangs out at the pool and is good-looking people and talk.
Yes.
And with a leader who offers something rather wonderful. And one that wears white and doesn't talk.
The guilty remnants.
Is that what they were called?
Yes.
I could have used the closed captioning. I went without it, but I could have used it.
You know, I watched it once with, and it still took me ages to figure it out. It wasn't until I noticed it's in fine print at the bottom of all their signs. You know, the ones that say, we smoke not for pleasure, the guilty remnants.
And they said...
the GRs.
They kept saying the GRs, yeah. And our lead character, Mr. Aniston, is
Police Chief Garvey.
Police Chief Garvey, whose father, I guess, was the police chief and went crazy.
Right.
Maybe around that time, maybe another time. Mm-hmm. His wife was not taken away, but she is in the cult.
And his son is in the other one.
And his son is in the other one, right, which seems to be at least the more identifiable, practical, the cult that would still go to Burger King. But yeah, cults. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of 1820s, 1830s America where everybody's a prophet, everybody has an answer, everybody has an explanation.
Right. I mean, I think it's that idea of, and I don't know if this is an American thing or just a human thing, of we're not good with the ineffable, you know, with the unexplainable. Like, everybody needs to find some way that they can sort of wrestle it down to some sort of concept they can grasp and thing they can pin it on. And so rather than going through life not knowing, you know, you join this cult because the cult has the answers, you know.
Just this second, because you said that, I now like the show more. I didn't dislike it, but it is a show that TV cable news can't handle. Like, they don't know. Yeah. There is no answer. No one can be like, this is dead. And the people who are definite about it seem totally crazy.
Right. It's like the Malaysia airliner thing. You know, 24/7 cable news cycle was losing their shit because they had nothing to report.
And they couldn't bring anybody on who would have anything definitive to report.
Right. And so you see, you know, these like, we see a lot of talking head arguments on cable news shows and sort of C-SPAN hearings, but it all boils down to, meh, we don't know.
And what's the Cosmos guy? Dyson?
Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson ironically played the religious zealot in the cable.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
It's
I
a
didn't catch that.
Nice little piece of casting
funny.
there.
Okay.
Here are the things that I didn't like about it. Mm-hmm. With a couple of exceptions, with about a minute and a half scene in a bar, it really sort of lacked fun. It lacked any sort of humor. There was fun when we finally saw a list of the famous Condoleezza Rice, Shaquille O'Neal, Salman Rushdie,
Anthony Bourdain,
Pope Benedict, Jennifer Lopez, allowing for the line,
I can understand the Pope, but Gary fucking
the
Busey?
the Pope, but Gary Busey, right? And so they, from a religious point of view, they almost dismiss it as the Christian version of the rapture, the conservative version, because we're told people who molested their kids are gone.
Sure.
Gary Busey, not to put him in that category,
but my brother-in-law was a dipshit.
My brother-in-law was a dipshit. I don't want to call him a hero. And the main town now, 3 years later, as towns across America are having a Heroes Day,
right,
calling these people heroes, even though they appear to just been
randomly,
some of them legitimate heroes, but some of them buffoons.
Yeah, and infants, and like people who had no anything, just random.
Interesting strategy, which I would like to have been in the marketing and executive and production meetings for HBO, deciding what to use in those teasers. Because they gave away a very powerful scene, which is why we were interested in seeing it. The mother on the phone, her baby's crying, she's being very patient, and then all of a sudden the baby stops crying, she glances back, the baby's gone, she freaks out. That scene would have packed more power had we not seen it. It's still a good scene.
Yeah, I mean, and it's always that you can't blame the work for that. It's the marketing department. But I mean,
I like those decisions. Like that was such a good scene, and it will deliver a real impact if told on screen. And it's less so when you know what's coming.
Yeah, in a way, this is kind of my joke has been like, this is the secular humanist left behind.
Yeah,
because it's not about because the good ones left and the bad ones are left. It's or gone and the bad ones are left. It's just it is that great unknowable randomness, and that that sort of we are adrift in a chaotic universe, and how do we cope with that? And I think this is really kind of just a metaphor for how people live their lives in general, about religion and about psychoanalysis or whatever it is that gets people through the day. But it's just all the more focused when you have this sort of one giant event that it's kind of that it's all springing from.
Two very powerful scenes or stunning scenes. One, the party that the police chief, that Justin Theroux's daughter goes to,
right,
where they play spin the
iPhone
version of Spin the Bottle, and it's like fuck, choke, kiss,
burn,
drink, burn. I mean, like things you do not want your 17-year-old kids doing. But I guess in this age where you don't know, you may be gone tomorrow.
Right.
They've abandoned sort of all sense of rules. And then Justin Theroux gets his kitchen thrashed. I sort of thought that he'd done it drunk and didn't remember it, because there is I guess more than an implication that he's
a blackout
drinking
drinker,
and he overslept. He was drinking at night with his daughter. Not unreasonably, but he drinks.
Sure.
Functional drunk. There was a line about you could smell it on his breath. So he's a functioning drunk. But it wasn't. It was a deer.
We think.
But a deer that he saw and appeared to be a taxidermied deer at first.
Well, I was going to say that was something I don't know why I didn't catch this the first time I watched it. But when he goes to the home of Dudley's owner, the dead dog, and there's the taxidermied deer in the yard when he gets there, and then it's gone when he leaves. And so it's like, was it a taxidermy deer? Is he having visions? Like, who knows?
Right, is he having visions? Although it doesn't appear to be a vision, because those dogs appeared to take part a real deer later.
Right. The second time is definitely a real deer, but the first time
was that deer.
Yeah, because when you look at it the first time, it does indeed look taxidermy.
It does. It does, but maybe it was just
just standing real still. Yeah,
it is a deer. They do that, and then he asked that question of the deer: "Did you go through my kitchen?"
Right.
And there's something about his connection to animals, it seems. Because he approached that, if that dog was wild at the beginning, that dog appeared to be on the cusp of coming to him.
Sure.
Feeling some connection with him, maybe because his wife left.
Right, but his wife didn't leave.
But his wife left in another way.
Sure.
Maybe the dog somehow understood that, and then the dog gets shot. But then also the talking to the deer and the daughter's line when the brothers from, I think, Desperate Housewives are like, no, she's like, no, he wouldn't shoot a dog. That's not
right.
It's not an option.
But then the episode ends with him joining the other guy and shooting the dogs. You kind of realize,
yes,
everything is taking a turn here, you know, and everything is getting worse, basically. And then meanwhile, so he has lost his wife to the guilty remnants, whose shtick is apparently to
Save your breath.
like to go to survivors and just stand there and look at them
and convert them.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
and guilt them into joining you. You
which
know,
gets to the other point is as the guilty remnants were looking at pictures for whatever their assignments are.
right. For observations.
I really had a weird moment of, God, that girl in the photo looks like Liv Tyler.
Good catch.
Yeah, and I thought it was the daughter, but it turns out it's Liv Tyler.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the thing about the Garveys are scattered around, but none of them got taken. You know.
Right.
They're all around. They're just all, you know.
And then we meet this other woman whose whole family got taken.
Right.
Her son,
daughter,
and her daughter, and her husband. And I instantly think doesn't seem like this kind of show that, like, did anybody take advantage of the situation to murder their family? You know?
You'd have to hide the corpses, though.
You'd have to hide the corpses, but people wouldn't really look for them. Yeah. You know? They just assume.
That might pop up. We got, what, 9 episodes to go?
Yeah. This is a show about people who've been profoundly changed by a cataclysmic event. And as the mayor says, hey, we all just want to
move on,
be happy. And Thoreau says, no,
we're not ready for that.
No, we're not ready in any way for that.
I think they might open themselves up to that more. I think any pilot is about sort of establishing the world, and this is a pretty grim world, you know.
Pretty grim world.
So I think maybe they didn't feel comfortable being too jokey out of the gate, but you know.
And I thought he was gonna. There was a flashback when the woman he meets in the bar, who is the woman who lost her kid in the first scene, said, you know, where were you? And there's a shot of him having sex. I at first thought that was them in an hour. But I think it was him and Amy Brenneman.
And I thought, because I had not put the piece together that she was his ex, like I thought maybe his wife literally disappeared from under him, you know.
That one I got a tap on the back from my wife on. I was on that. I was like, yeah, that's his wife. She didn't leave because the guy's question to her, the kid who she had to choke while he jerked off. Rough scene. You know, he said, so what about, you know, your mom? Like, it wasn't asked. It was an open-ended, your mom is, something has happened to your mom, but it wasn't the big thing. It wasn't the disappearance. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure people out there have read the book and are itching to spoil everything, but don't be that guy.
Yeah. So and Tom Perrotta, is that his name?
Yeah.
Not just based on his book, but he's writing the screenplay.
Right. With Carlton Cuse or
with the other one, Damon Lindelof.
Damon Lindelof. Sorry. Right. Okay.
Yeah. The other one.
I never watched Lost.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I liked it. I'm into it. I'm anxious for next week.
No, I'm in. I want to see where this goes. So join us next time.